Hi everyone, welcome to this GCSE Foundation Revision video. It's 31 days to go into your GCSE Maths exam, so keep up the hard work, you're doing really well. And today we're going to be focused on speed, or speed, distance and time. So if you've got the Corbettmaths revision cards, there's a card on speed, and that'll be really useful for you as well. But today we're going to be focused on how to answer questions involving speed, distance and time. There'll be lots of questions for you to try, so at various times in this video, press pause and try those questions yourself. So let's get started.
Hi, today we're going to be looking at speed, distance and time. Now if we've got a speed such as 30 miles per hour, it tells us a lot of information. It says 30 miles per hour. It's saying that every single hour something is travelling 30 miles. So in 1 hour it would travel 30 miles. In 2 hours it would travel 60 miles. In 3 hours it would travel 90 miles and so on. And we've got some formulae with speed, distance and time. We've got the speed is equal to distance divided by time. So for instance, if I travelled 90 miles in 3 hours, 90 divided by 3 is equal to 30. So my speed would be 30 miles per hour. If, for instance, I was travelling 30 miles per hour and I travelled for 2 hours, well, that would be 2 lots of 30 miles, because every hour it's 30 miles. 30 times 2 is equal to 60, so I would travel 60 miles. And finally, if I travelled a distance such as 150 miles at a speed of 30 miles per hour, if I divide that distance by the speed, it'll tell me how long the journey took, which would be 5 hours. So speed is equal to distance divided by time. Distance is equal to speed times time, and time is equal to distance divided by speed. And it's really important that you remember those. So if you've got your window pens, feel free to jot those on your window so that you can remember those. So if you're daydreaming, look out your window, you can see speed is distance divided by time, distance is equal to speed times time, and time is equal to distance divided by speed. Okay, let's have a look at our first question. So our first question says, a car drives 180 miles in 4 hours. Calculate the average speed in miles per hour of the car. So feel free to press pause now to work out this question. Okay, so speed is equal to distance divided by time. So the car travels 180 miles, so it's going to be 180, and the time's 4 hours, so divided by 4, and 180 divided by 4 is equal to 45. So the speed of the car, the average speed of the car, is 45 miles per hour. And if you got that, well done. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. Okay, our next question says, Kevin runs 300 meters in 50 seconds. Work out his average speed. So feel free to press pause now to work this out. Okay, so we want to find the speed. So speed is equal to distance divided by time. So we want to take the distance, which is 300 meters, and divide it by the time, which is 50 seconds. So the speed is equal to distance, which is 300 meters, divided by the time, which is 50 seconds. And 300 divided by 50 is equal to 6. So it's going to be 6, and then we've got meters per second. So meters per second, and that little slash means per. So it's 6 meters per second, and that's Kevin's average speed. And if you got that, well done. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. So our next question says, a train travels 135 miles at an average speed of 45 miles per hour. Work out how long the journey lasts. So feel free to press pause now to work this out. Okay, so we want to work out how long the journey lasts, that's time. So time is equal to distance divided by speed. Or another way to think of it is we want to find out how long it takes. It's traveling at 45 miles per hour, so we just need to see how many 45s go into 135, and that'll tell us how long it takes. So time is equal to distance divided by speed, so the distance divided by the speed. So we're going to do the time taken is equal to the distance, 135 miles, divided by the speed, which is 45, and 135 divided by 45 is equal to 3. So the journey would last 3 hours, and that's it. And if you got that, well done. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. So our next question says, a bird flies for 5 hours at an average speed of 19 kilometers per hour. Calculate how far the bird flies. So feel free to press pause now and work out how far the bird flies. Okay, so the bird flies at a speed of 19 kilometers per hour, so 19 kilometers every hour, and it travels for 5 hours. So it's going to be 5 lots of 19. So the distance is equal to the speed multiplied by the time. So if we do the speed, which is equal to 19, multiplied by the time, which is 5 hours, that'll tell us how far the bird flew. So 19 multiplied by 5 is equal to 95, and remember we're dealing with kilometers here, so kilometers, so 95 kilometers. So the bird flew 95 kilometers, and if you got that, well done. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. Okay, so this time we've got a helicopter flies 120 miles in 1 hour 30 minutes. Calculate the average speed in miles per hour of the helicopter. So feel free to press pause now to work this out. Okay, so we want to find the speed of the helicopter. So remember, the speed is equal to distance divided by time. So the distance, it flew 120 miles, so 120, divided by the time. Now here the time is 1 hour and 30 minutes. Now 30 minutes is half an hour, so it's going to be 1.5 hours, so 1.5. So we're going to do 120 divided by 1.5. So 120 divided by 1.5 is equal to 80. So that's 80 miles per hour, 80 miles per hour. So that's the average speed of the helicopter. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write some over times here, and I'm going to change them into hours, just so we've got a bit of practice in terms of doing that. Okay, so I've written down some times here. Now this question was quite nice because it's 1 hour 30 minutes. So we just knew that was 1.5 hours, so 1.5 hours. So I've written down some times here: 3 hours 15 minutes, 6 hours 45 minutes, 2 hours 20 minutes, 36 minutes, 1 hour 48 minutes, and 9 hours and 6 minutes. And see if you can change those into hours now. So press pause and change or convert all of these just into hours. Okay, so 3 hours 15 minutes, that'll be 3.25 hours, so 3.25 hours. And the reason is 15 minutes is a quarter of an hour, so that's going to be 0.25. So we've got 3 hours and 15 minutes, so it's going to be 3.25 hours, and that's it. Okay, next, we've got 6 hours and 45 minutes, so 6 hours, that's 6. And then 45 minutes, so that's 3/4 of an hour, and 3/4 is a decimal, would be 0.75. So it's going to be 6.75 hours. Okay, next one, 2 hours and 20 minutes. Well, 2 hours, that's going to be 2, and then we've got point. Now, 20 minutes, I'm just going to go up here, 20 minutes, 20 out of 60. If we cancel down that fraction, that's going to be 2/6, and divided by 2 again, that's going to be 1/3. So it's a third of an hour. So 20 minutes is a third of an hour. And a third as a decimal number is 0.333333 and so on. So that'll be 2.3333 and so on hours. You could put the little dot above it and write 2.3 with the dot above it hours, and that would mean 2.3 recurring hours. And that's it. So 2 hours and 20 minutes would be 2.3333 and so on hours. So it can be useful to know that 20 minutes is a third of an hour. And similarly, 40 minutes would be 2/3 of an hour. So if you ever had 40 minutes, that's 0.66666 and so on. Okay, next, 36 minutes. So again, we could write this as a fraction and cancel it down. Alternatively, you could get your calculator and just take your 36 and divide it by 60. And 36 divided by 60 is 0.6. So it's 0.6 hours, just dividing that by 60. So 0.6 hours. 1 hour, 48 minutes. So 1 hour would be 1 point. And then 48 minutes, divide the 48 by 60. So 48 divided by 60 is equal to 0.8. So it's going to be 1.8 hours altogether. And then finally, 9 hours and 6 minutes, that's going to be 9 point, and 6 divided by 60 is equal to 0.1, so that'll be 9.1 hours, and that's it. So if you got those, well done. So it can be quite useful to convert those hours and minutes into just hours. So if you're doing questions like this, you can convert those minutes and hours into hours. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. So next question says, Roger drives for 2 hours and 45 minutes at an average speed of 48 miles per hour. How far does Roger drive? So feel free to press pause now to work this out. So we want to find out how far Roger drives. So he drives at an average speed of 48 miles per hour. So that means on average he drives 48 miles every hour, and he drives for 2 hours and 45 minutes. So to find out how far he drives, we just need to find the distance. So distance is equal to speed multiplied by time. We just need to multiply 48 by how long he drives for in hours. So we're going to do the speed, which is 48, multiplied by the time. Now we want it to be in hours, so it's 2 hours and 45 minutes. So 45 minutes is 3/4 of an hour. Remember, 3/4 is 0.75, so that'll be 2.75 hours. So 2 hours and 45 minutes would be 2.75 hours. So we're going to do 48 multiplied by 2.75. And when we do 48 multiplied by 2.75, that's equal to 132 miles. And that's it. And if you got that, well done. Okay, let's have a look at another question. So this time we're told that a lorry drives 240 miles at an average speed of 50 miles per hour. How long does the journey last? Give your answer in hours and minutes. So we want to find out how long this journey lasts, and we're to give our answer in hours and minutes. So feel free to press pause now to work this out. Okay, so because we were trying to find out how long the journey lasts, that's time. So the time is equal to the distance divided by the speed. We want to see how many lots of 50 go into 240, because that'll tell us how long it will take. So we're going to do 240, the distance, divided by the speed, which is 50. And if we do 240 divided by 50, that's equal to 4.8, so 4.8 hours. So the question says how long this journey lasts. Well, it lasts 4.8 hours, but we've got to give our answer in hours and minutes. So we want to have so many hours and so many minutes. Now, in terms of this, we've got 4.8 hours. Well, we know it's going to be 4 hours, so 4 hours. So we just need to figure out how many minutes. So if we want to change this 0.8 hours into minutes, we take the 0.8 and we multiply by 60. And 0.8 multiplied by 60 is equal to 48. So it's 4 hours and 48 minutes. So 4 hours and 48 minutes. So all we done was we just done 4 hours. And then we took the 0.8, multiplied that by 60 and got 48. And that's equal to 4 hours and 48 minutes. And that's it.
And that's it. So in this video, we've looked at speed, distance, and time. We've looked at the fact that speed is distance divided by time, that distance is speed times time, and that time is equal to distance divided by speed. It's very important to be able to tackle these questions confidently, because not only might you be given a question on speed, it might be that you've got a question perhaps on a travel graph and you've got to look at the graph and work out the speed from that. So it's important that you know your speed, distance, and time. It also could even be involved in a question such as in standard form or something like that. So I'd highly recommend that you're confident with speed, distance, and time. So that's why in the description below, I'd highly recommend, I might have said highly recommend there a few times, but I highly recommend the practice questions today. So keep going on with those practice questions and try today's ones on speed, distance, and time. So there's 31 days to go. Keep up the hard work, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next video at 3 o'clock on YouTube. Cheers. Bye.